Hey up everybody, my name's Joshua Morrison, director of Johnny Moz's Lessons in Confidence, and today I want to talk to you a little bit more about community, because when you go around London and you just allow yourself to open up and be one with the rest of the city, you can end up finding yourself in all sorts of fun situations, all sorts of fun people. Just today I went to meet the costume designer Eva, who was in another video, and she has been really working on these. Look at that. Look at how cool that design is. She did all that with like acrylic paint. So she's done all of this side down here, and she's left this side kind of empty, and these little flowers here, which I think looks so beautiful. I think this looks so cool. It's so the character. It's so interesting. And she also took those sort of turquoisey jeans and she turned them into this. Look at that, she made them into bell bottoms, and they've got like these yellow sort of highlights on them, and this sort of blue with a bit more highlight here, and there's this kind of psychedelic-y kind of color. It's so perfect, it's such the character, and it's so much fun. I met her at Starbucks about 20 minutes ago. I just went there to have a coffee, and I sat down with the laptop, and I was gonna do some script work, and there was a guy that worked at the Starbucks. He came over and he said, you do camera stuff. I'm like, yeah. So like, and he was sort of asking about the camera, this camera this has been filmed on it. So Canon C100 Mark I with a 28mm lens on it at the moment, and he was sort of interested in all that kind of stuff. So I sort of told him that, you know, if you go on eBay, you can kind of get this stuff on the bids. You can bid for it, and because it's quite old, no one actually wants it because it's not old enough to actually be retro yet. So, you know, if you bid for it, you'll be the only bidder on it most likely, so you don't have to compete with other people. I managed to get this, 600 quid. This camera really should have cost somewhere in the realm of about 2,000, 3,000. In fact, when it came out, it was about 10,000, 12,000 pounds or something like that. Came out in 2011, 2012, something like that. And it's got super 35mm in it. It's a cine camera. I love it. It doesn't shoot in 4:3. I just like making these videos in 4:3. Yeah, so I was sat there with the laptop, and he came over and we had a bit of a conversation. It can't last that long because he's on the job, and he's got to give out coffees to people and all that kind of stuff. So he said goodbye, and the woman that was next to me, who is potentially going to be playing a role in this film now, because we got talking. She was writing a script. I'm not going to tell you about the script because her script is still a work in progress, but she was telling me all about it, and I thought it was such a fun idea. And it was actually quite similar to Johnny Moz's Lessons in Confidence in that this is a very earnest portrayal of my life, but taking it into a bit of a new context. And similarly, her story was very much her real story and her real sort of things that go on in her life and how she kind of deals with them. And I'm really looking forward to seeing where that kind of goes. And I was showing her a couple of these videos and how, because she was talking about it like it's a one-woman show, like a theatre kind of thing. And I sort of pulled up one of these videos. I pulled up the one where I'm on the ledge, the burnout video, and I'm sort of sat on a ledge, like this, probably about this thick, right? And I'm kind of standing on it, and like you don't want to fall off, and I was turning it all into a bit of a metaphor. I thought that was kind of interesting to do stuff that way, so I showed her, and she was quite interested in that kind of thing. And it was very much like the same kind of thing that she's going for. We ended up talking for about 45 minutes. And I don't think either of us actually got the work we were meant to get done. But it was such a fun, nice conversation, and I offered her a role as one of the Universal credit agents that's going to be in the film, and she seemed like she'd be keen on that. So we're going to probably do some WhatsApping and figure out all the details. I need to send her the script and so on. But I thought it was just so indicative of what London sort of has to offer, and any city really, particularly ones that have this artistic sort of quality to them, like Brighton and I don't know, LA to a degree, and like New York and all these sort of cities where there's a lot of creatives all hanging out in the coffee shops, all working on their own things and their own creative expressions, and everyone's got their own story to tell. And yeah, so I heard about her story, and it was really, really fascinating, and I really hope that it comes out, and when it comes out, I'll be able to just tell you all about it, and just send you guys to go see it. It's probably going to be a theatre thing, so it'd be like an in-person type thing. It looks like it's going to be so much fun. Another example of this kind of thing as well is that about 4 days ago, I was out in Tottenham Court Road. This is where I am now. I'm in Tottenham Court Road. I went to Tottenham Court Road the other day to meet with Eva when I shot that last video of Eva. And I was making my way back to the station. I was trying to figure out where to actually go. And sorry about that. And what I was doing, I was walking through the park that's way down there, right? Sorry about the noise again. Out of my control. And went down there. There's a park down there, and it's like this park with a little pagoda in the middle, and there's 4 different roads that all look quite identical. I needed to get to the one that took me to the station. I was like going down them all, I couldn't find it. And there were these 2 guys, Mark and Lucas, and I met them, and they were heading to a job interview, but they sort of stopped me and they were like, "Oh yeah, you do film and stuff." And like, "We're actors." And I was like, "Oh yeah. I'm working on a film now called Johnny Moz's Lessons in Confidence. So, you know, it'd be really interesting to have you guys on board. You actually look like such the roles of some of the musicians that are going to be in the film." And they were like, "Oh yeah, I'm a musician." And so I was like, "Oh, what do you play?" And he was like, "Oh, I play guitar and I sometimes do vocals and stuff like that." And I was like, "Oh, sweet." So we exchanged numbers and wished him good luck with his job interview. I hope he got the job. I'm going to be meeting them on Saturday to talk more about the role, see if they're interested, if they want to come on board, that kind of thing. And then we'll be shooting their stuff probably in November sometime. And you walk around, you find so many people. I was in Westminster about a week and a half ago when I was filming a couple more of these sort of videos. This was the first video that actually went semi-viral. I mean, it got a couple thousand views, but it was the first video to actually kind of blow up, and it's the reason that this channel is like doing all right by the algorithm at the moment. It was that same day I was waiting for one of the actors called Camilla, who I actually need to get back to because she's working on these really amazing piano pieces. Like she did these renditions of Brahms, and I can't remember the other one. I want to say Ludwig. I can't remember, but anyway, they were really beautiful compositions, and the way that she sort of took them was a really nice personality-driven kind of thing. So I listened to them. I haven't actually got back to it. I really need to. But while I was waiting for her at the station, I was walking around. I was listening to music on my headphones, and a guy stops me, and he asks about the camera, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I do sort of film and stuff." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm an actor." I'm like, "Oh yeah, are you? Sweet, yeah." And he talked about how he did like various roles, and he was on TV sets, and that kind of thing. And so we exchanged numbers, and you meet so many people. You meet so many people going out and doing stuff. And I think what's important for the sake of this video is that when you are on a roll, when you're having that groove, good things will come to you. When you do right by the world and you're doing good things will happen unto you. I don't know why I said unto, but they will, because people can see that confidence exuding from you, and they're interested in coming along for your ride, and it's so much fun to meet so many beautiful people across this amazing city, and just really, I feel like the city is actually becoming smaller and smaller in a good way as I do more of this film, and I enjoy it so much. I enjoy going out there and talking to people and seeing what's going on, and finding all these people from different walks of life, and hearing their stories, and it's so much fun. It's so much fun going out there and doing this sort of thing, and that's kind of why I wanted to do this video. I just wanted to do a video about the community and how, if you do go out there and you do put yourself out there in these situations that at first can feel quite uncomfortable, because I'm not like a busybody type person who goes around and does all sorts of stuff. I'm not that kind of person in real life. I tend to be quite introverted, closed off quite character. And I could quite happily just sit at home and just do nothing for ages and ages on end, and just go to my job and come back and do all that sort of stuff. But I don't want that for my future. I want for my future to progress somewhere and to have these experiences that I can look back onto, and to actually go out there and just try stuff and see if it works. It can be so rewarding an experience, and I really recommend it to all of you to just, if you're thinking about working on a project that you think might be a bit of a mad idea, just do it. Just start. Just begin. If you're making a film, just find some actors. Don't even worry about writing the script first and getting everything figured out. I haven't finished the script. I've barely even started the script. But I've gotten so many actors on board, and so many people excited to be part of the film. And obviously, they know what kind of film this is. This isn't a traditional film in that kind of way, and I don't want it to be a traditional film in that kind of way. But once you're honest with people about these sort of things, people will come along for the ride, and it's so fun to have these people along, and to see where it all ends up, because you make such wonderful connections with people, and you meet so many cool people. All my favorite people I've just bumped into, over the years, you know. I mean, how did you meet your friends? Your best friend, how did you meet them, you know? I reckon your best friend that you probably met them in like school or in college or at work, and that's an institution where you are kind of locked in. So you go to that place every day, and you and that other person are kind of stuck together, and so you're able to make these connections over time, which is a very fun way of connecting with people. It's probably the most common way of connecting with people, but what I've been doing lately is just going out and just meeting people randomly. Like, I was just sitting in a Starbucks waiting for Eva, and a couple conversations go by, and suddenly I've found a new person to, you know, talk to and to tell about this film and about this self-expression. We ended up getting some really deep conversations, and that's something that comes with being, you know, I hate the word artist because to me it gives off this kind of hipstery kind of thing to it, but you know, we are artists at the end of the day. We're making art and we're expressing ourselves. And when you do that, it's so much easier to have these quite in-depth conversations, be quite open about your own shortcomings and your flaws, because you're doing them through the context of portraying them in some kind of creative expression, whether that be an album, whether that be film, whether that be a theatrical production, as the woman I met in the Starbucks is doing, whether it be, you know, a book that you're going to put on Amazon, whether it be, you know, all manner of things. Maybe you want to become a YouTuber and just start expressing yourself that way, and you know, you're really into, say, video games, and you want to just do videos about various video games that you like or dislike and your opinions on them. You know, you get your mind out there, and as you start to do it, you become more confident because you are expressing yourself, and now you feel comfortable expressing yourself to other people, and you're not worried about what they might think of you. So, and you know, you can quite easily worry about what people think of you, but it's not really that worth it, because no one minds about your shortcomings, because they've got their own shortcomings. Everyone's got their own problems, and everyone's got their own sad bits of their story that they don't really want to share with other people. I've got things that I don't want to share with you. Other people have things that they don't want to share with their audience, with their friends, or whatever, you know. The kind of thing that they would admit to their closest friend after so long, like, you know, I really need to tell you something quite personal. And then they reveal that thing. And you know, it's all about making those connections so that you can express yourself. Maybe not even necessarily in the context of creating art, but just in general. You know, expressing yourself is how you live. You know, we are a social species at the end of the day. That's why we group together in these cities, and that's why, you know, throughout the ages and the birth of civilization, that's why when towns started coming together and forming and that kind of thing, we started to exponentially develop as a species. You know, we started off, you know, as an agricultural kind of society, and that was very small towns of, like, you know, 50 people here to a tribe, 50 people here to a tribe, 20 people here, a couple families coming together, and then more people come together, more people to come together. And the more that kind of happens, the more that you start to realize that we have stuff to offer one another. One, we have our perspective. Two, we have our time. Three, we have our empathy and our sympathy. And the fact that we can do that with one another is the beauty of human nature. And I think I'm so glad that we are such a social species. Although if we weren't a social species, I suppose I wouldn't really miss it, because I would be one of that non-social species, so it'd be fine. But I think, you know, look at all these people out here. They've all got their own wonderful stories to tell, and they've all got so much to give and so much to offer to the rest of the world. You know, and I'm sure somewhere out there, there's a few people there that have been working on books or on art or on various things, or there's people that have told their story in an interesting way, and there's someone that has something really wonderful and expressive to portray. And I think, you know, it's just nice to see that, and it's nice to see everything come together and coalesce in such a magical way. And I know this was a very hippie, pretentious-y kind of video, but, you know, that is the expression. That is the expression of today. And I thank you for coming along for this journey. And please, you know, if you have anything in terms of your own expression, please let me know in the comments, and I'll try and check it out. There's a comment that someone left me about a film called Tie-Dye. I'll try and link it in the description if I remember. That's a reminder to link it in the description. So please check that out. Check out the guy. I can't remember what the name of the username was, but I skimmed through it. I need to watch it later. It looks like so much fun. It looks like a very personal documentary that's a very true expression of that person. And I want to see that. I want to see the little intricacies of the human spirit. which is what you see in these low-level independent, and I mean super independent, not like indie as in like A24 pictures, although they do quite a good job of expressing the whims of the director and the writers and so on, and the actors always do such a great job. And it's it's just so much fun to see what other people have to say, because it can help you develop your own worldview at the end of the day. That's why maybe you have a podcast that you like to listen to, and those personalities really draw you in, and it helps to develop your own sense of self. We are a social species, and the way that we develop and grow as people is by, not comparing ourselves to others, but having that ability to know, this is me, this is that person, this is that person, that person's like that person's like that person's a bit eccentric, that person's a bit down to earth, that person's quite quiet and reserved. But when you actually get them talking, they can really go, And it's so much fun to do that, and I love doing this, and I want to keep doing this. I want to keep this up. I want to keep this roll up, keep this groove up, because as you start to go through your groove and you get your groove in, you're grooving away. People want to come in and be part of your song, your song for the world, and they want to join in. They'll join in with a quick guitar solo, and you'll realize, getting really deep into the metaphor now, you'll realize just how much they have to give and how much they have to say, and and it can really motivate you and turn your own life around in different ways. We never figure out an epiphany on our own. We figure it out from the experiences of others. And I think with that, I'm gonna head off. It's getting a wee bit dark. I hope the camera is still quite lit. Thank you so much for watching and watching all these kind of videos. I love you all. You're all so brilliant, and you all leave such amazing comments. I'm sorry I don't respond to as many of them as I should. There's so many that I try to respond to them. I try to respond to them with an earnest sort of thing. I could just go and just spam like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and just like not really bother with what the person actually has to say. But I do go back and I look through the comments and I try and see what people have to say and try and engage with it earnestly and honestly. And I love that. I love that communication between you and I, and between me and the rest of the world. And it's so much fun. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. You have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye. I'm gonna leave you with just like a shot of this. I'm gonna come back and pick that up, don't worry. Is it still, it's still quite lit. Yeah, that's good.